Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Habitat Happy Hour. We have a slightly serious happy hour for you this afternoon, and it is in large part thanks to our friends at the United Way of Dutchess and Orange region. As you know, for many years, they have been looking at a version of analyzing poverty and low-income situations with a product, I'll call it, called ALICE. And ALICE is an acronym: Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Employed Members of Our Community. They've done it for the entire country, and they've even been able to break it down so that we can see exactly what our situation here is here in Dutchess County. So some of the things that you're going to hear about today are distressing, and you are also probably going to want to say, well, let's just fix it. And isn't that the most wonderful part of living in Dutchess County, that that's the kind of community we are, that we're always looking for solutions. So a couple of things that I wanted to share with you before you see exactly what ALICE is, and understand that it is a critical tool for helping not only the service world provide better tools to improve people's quality of lives or help them improve their own quality of life, but it is also critical that the greater community understand the realities of living as an employed person making a low wage. So starting out a little bit, let's start with New York State. And you may be surprised by this statistic, because even I, who've worked in this field my whole life, was surprised that 45% of New Yorkers are living one emergency away from being homeless or not having enough food in their pantry. Any of the basic things that we have come to expect and accept as part of living in this community. ALICE families don't qualify for benefits because they make too much. There's a very hard line with respect to supportive benefits in our community. $1 can make the difference between whether you're eligible for utility benefits or heating benefits or rental assistance. So ALICE are those people who are $1 away from being able to qualify for help. What I wanted everyone to understand is that in a community of almost 300,000 people and a little over 100,000 homes, that 29,160 homes are ALICE homes. They are one paycheck away, one emergency away from losing everything. And so as you listen to this, be thinking about why Habitat for Humanity finds this to be such an incredibly important tool. Our homes make it possible for families to have the security of home ownership, the security of safe and stable shelter, no matter what the situation. So I encourage you to listen, to learn, to ask questions. If we can't answer them, we'll pass them on to United Way. But please, let's start having a conversation about what it's like to live in Dutchess County if you are not at the area median income of $102,000. Thank you.
met Shirley about 20 years ago. She was student of the month. I went to her high school graduation and I saw the potential then. And to look at Shirley, and she's put together, she's professional, she's articulate, and she's respected. And on the outside, it looks like this girl's got it together, and what does she have to worry about? It's just not that simple. It's hard to see somebody have to fight so hard. I mean, I'm not saying that things have to come easy in life for people, but she fights really hard.
So even though I have this full-time career, it's still a struggle. It's still hard to make ends meet. I'm a divorced mom of 2 boys, ages 10 and 7. They live with me full-time. My 10-year-old son has special needs. He's more demanding and he needs more than just your average kid. I had worked full-time in the banking industry. Due to the birth of our second child, daycare costs exceeded what my salary was, so I quit my job to become a stay-at-home mom. When the divorce occurred, that created an extreme hardship. My parents tapped into their resources, and then it was just too much. Too many months had gone by. I had to start putting a lot of bills on credit cards, whether it was the water bill, phone bills. I had to watch my car get towed up. I wasn't happy to go down, but I had no choice. So when I was offered the position where I am now, it was the light at the end of the tunnel for me. I love helping other people. It's the way I can provide for my kids, for my family. And it's a job that makes you feel good at the end of the day, because you're making a difference.
Being able to put your child to college and own a home and own a vehicle and have health insurance and be sustainable. That's the American dream. It's much more difficult than I think most people think.
So now I'm faced with moving my family. After receiving a sheriff's notice, the bank will most likely take the house back. You can't keep a family of 3 afloat on my salary alone. The boys have only ever known this house is theirs. My little guy is more upset about it than the older one. He doesn't want to change his lifestyle.
I am rooting for Shirley. I believe in Shirley. I think it's circumstance. That's why she is where she is today. But if we as a society change circumstance and change environment to support one another, then if we can make those moves. No one does anything alone or in isolation. And what one does impacts somebody else.
If we don't discuss this and we don't talk about it and we don't raise the awareness, it's never going to change. I believe that that's what creates opportunity. And if I have to give a voice, if I have to give a face, then I'm willing to do that because I am endless.
So if you're like me, you're looking at this video and you're thinking, I wonder how COVID is going to impact this. I wonder what's going to happen to those low wage earners whose jobs were not critical jobs and haven't been working for these many months. And then I start to think about the people that I'm surrounded by and even myself. How many paychecks am I away from being an Alice family? How many paychecks are you away from being an Alice family? If you in any way can relate to this, I don't mean to cause fear, but I do know that as a community, we need to understand better what's happening with our community in terms of our capacity to live here and thrive here. So again, I hope that this was an informative and meaningful opportunity for you to better understand the families that Habitat serves, as well as our community at large. Have a great evening.